Good, happy Sunday morning, August 25th, 2019. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Sunday morning edition of Politics with Riley King. Let's begin. First up, several presidential candidates visiting New Hampshire. Several presidential hopefuls make stops throughout the Granite State. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Tim Callery.
People showing up to a house party Saturday afternoon to hear Pete Buttigieg talk about why he should be their next president.
What will the next presidency be like, and how will it shape the era that we are now living into? That, I believe, is what is at stake.
The mayor touching on familiar topics: healthcare, immigration, education, climate change, and national security.
If we mean business about national security, there has to be an actual plan for dealing with white nationalist violence that is as threatening to us here at home as anything coming from abroad.
And Mayor Buttigieg not the only presidential candidate here this weekend. John Delaney taking some time to shake hands at Meredith's 40th annual Arts Fest, one of several visits he's made to the Granite State since launching his campaign.
How are you?
Former Vice President Joe Biden talking the economy as he greets voters at Lindy's Diner in Keene.
What's the single greatest thing that the markets worry about? Is a presidency that's not stable.
Biden calling out President Trump on his demand for companies to stop doing business with China.
I don't think the president understands what what limitations there are in the office, and whether or not he has authority to do a number of things he asserts he's going to do.
China also the talk of Trump's Republican competitor, Bill Weld, during his visit to New Hampshire.
The president has a different tariff policy every day, and that makes it difficult for American businesses to plan. It also makes it difficult for the Chinese or any other nation to take us seriously.
Tim Callery, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. In Cornish, Buttigieg discussed plan on mental health. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Tim Callery.
The mayor held a meet and greet here in Cornish earlier this evening, kind of a chance to go one-on-one with voters. Now, more than 500 people showed up to a house party for the mayor earlier this afternoon. He spoke for a while, about a half hour, before taking questions from the crowd. Buttigieg touching on topics that we're actually hearing a lot on the campaign trail: healthcare, immigration, education, and climate change. The mayor also spoke about foreign policy, adding that his time in the military will help him in that area if elected president. He also touched on mental health and addiction.
We have to act to make sure that we have more providers of mental health care, especially in areas where people have to travel too long or wait too long on a wait list to get that kind of help. We have to support our teachers and our police officers, while not accepting the idea that they should be all anybody gets by way of mental health resources. We should honor the fact that they have a key role by ensuring that they have access to mental health first aid so that they know where to send somebody when there's a problem.
And after his time here in Cornish, the mayor did a retail tour of downtown Lebanon. Right now, he is wrapping up his day at a town hall meeting over in Hanover. We're live here in Cornish. I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Campaigning in Keene, Biden says he won't criticize Trump on foreign policy while president is overseas. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Siobhan Lopez.
Lindy's Diner in Keene is a first-in-the-nation tradition. Joe Biden greets voters and shares a meal with the city's mayor.
How was lunch?
Good. The lunch was good.
Addressing the economy, the Democrat calls it frightening for the nation and the world.
What's the single greatest thing that the markets worry about? Is a presidency that's not stable.
We asked the former vice president his thoughts on President Trump telling companies to stop doing business with China.
I don't think the president understands what his what limitations there are in the office, and whether or not he has authority to do a number of things he asserts he's going to do.
Biden stopped there, saying he won't criticize any president on foreign policy while they're out of the country.
You know, well, I love you too, and I love this town.
Kind words for the city while speaking at Keene State College earlier in the day, but it was this misspeak with reporters.
What's not to like about Vermont in terms of the beauty of it, and what a neat town.
That came just before a question about some voters having concerns about his age.
I'd say if they're concerned, don't vote for me.
I don't hold his age against him. I mean, I'm no spring chicken myself, but I think that today he seemed very viable.
Voters we spoke to say they were inspired by his message to unite the country. They're interested in a candidate that can beat Donald Trump and believe Joe Biden is that person.
I'm impressed. I'm touched. I feel so optimistic and hopeful now, more than before.
In Keene, Siobhan Lopez, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And now let's take a look at your 2020 New Hampshire candidate tracker for today and see what candidates are in New Hampshire today. Good morning, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to my morning news report right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. 2020 New Hampshire candidate tracker for August 25th, 2019. Today, let's see what candidates are in New Hampshire today. The first candidate, Pete Buttigieg, has a house party in Ossipee, New Hampshire at 11:30 a.m. Amy Cullen-Bulcher has 3 events happening today in New Hampshire. Her first event is Meet and Greet / Climate Change Discussion at the Seacoast Science Center in Rye, New Hampshire at 10 o'clock a.m. Her second event is a house party in Nashua, New Hampshire at 1:30 p.m. And her third event is speaking at the Belknap County Summer Blues Bash at Levitt Park in Laconia, New Hampshire at 5 p.m. Marion Williamson has 4 events happening today in New Hampshire. Her first event is speaking at Sunday church service at Franconia Community Church of Christian in Franconia, New Hampshire at 10:30 a.m. Her second event is Meet and Greet at Dow Park in Franconia, New Hampshire at 11:45 a.m. Her third event is speaking at the Belknap County Democrat Summer Blue Bash at Leventon Park in Laconia, New Hampshire at 2:30 p.m. And her fourth event is Meet and Greet at the Stone Church in Newmarket, New Hampshire at 4:30 p.m. And Andrew Yang has 1 event today in New Hampshire, attending the Belknap County Democrat Summer Blue Bash at Leventon Park in Laconia, New Hampshire at 2 p.m. are all the candidates that will be in New Hampshire today. And I hope you all have a great rest of your Saturday, everyone. Goodbye. Okay, and there you go. And those are the candidates that will be in New Hampshire today. Joe Walsh announced GOP primary challenge against Trump. Conservative firebrand former Illinois Rep. Joe Walsh announced Sunday in an exclusive interview with ABC News chief anchor George Stephanopoulos on ABC this week that he's launching a long, short Republican presidential primary challenge against President Donald Trump. And that's it for this Sunday edition of Politics with Riley King. I hope you all enjoyed this Sunday edition of Politics with Riley King. Have a great rest of your Sunday. I'll see you back here next Sunday for another edition of Politics with Riley King. And have a great week ahead of you as well. And enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Goodbye, everyone.